Salam miteinander, and welcome back. We're now on to chapter 21 of the Fairy Caravan by Beatrix Potter. Now, while the mice were merrymaking in the caravan, all sorts of things were happening in the stable. Paddy Pig continued to be feverish and restless. He kicked off the blankets as fast as the cats could replace it. "His strength is well maintained," said Cheesebox after a renewed struggle. "We must keep him on a low diet." What? I'm hungry," squealed the patient. "Fetch me a bucketful of pig wash, I say. I'm hungry." "Possibly he might be granted a teeny-weeny bit of fish. The fisher cart comes round from Falkbrook on Wednesdays," purred Mary Ellen. "I won't eat it. Flukes are full of prickly bones. Fetch me pig wash and potatoes." "I could pick it out for you if you fancied a little fish." "I don't want fish, I tell you. I want potatoes," grumbled Paddy Pig. He closed his eyes and pretended to snore. "He sleeps," purred Mary Ellen. "Which of us shall sit up first? We might as well take turns," said Cheesebox, who was growing a trifle tired of Mary Ellen's purring. "I will watch first, dear Cheesebox, while you take 40 winky peeps." Mary Ellen composed herself beside Paddy Pig, with her paws tucked under her. Paddy Pig sulked. Margaret the mare dozed in the stall nearest to the window. There was some reflected moonlight through the small dusty panes, but the stable was very dark. Cheesebox jumped nimbly onto the manger and thence into the hay-rack, wherein was some fusty hay, long undisturbed, to judge by 3 doubtful eggs in a forgotten hen nest. Cheesebox curled herself up in the hay. Overhead, cobwebs hung from a broken plaster of the ceiling. There were cracks between the laths and holes in the floor of the loft above. The stable had been well appointed in old days. The tail posts of the stalls were handsomely carved, and on each was nailed the antlers of deer. The points served as pegs for hanging up the harness. But all had become neglected, broken, and dark. The corn bin was patched with tin, and the third backmost stall was full of lumber. A light noise amongst the lumber drew the attention of Cheesebox. Climbing, scratching noise, followed by the pattering of rats' feet over the loft above. Mary Ellen, in the stall below, stopped purring. Cheesebox listened intently. There were many pattering footsteps. More and more rats were assembling. There must be a committee meeting, a congress of rats, thought Cheesebox, very wide awake. The noise and squeaking increased until there was a sound of rapping on a box for silence. "I move that the soapbox chair be taken by Alderrat Squeaker." Seconded and carried unanimously. "First business," said Old Chair Squeaker in a rich, suety voice. "First business, please." But there seemed to be neither first nor last. All the rats squeaked at once, and the chair rat thumped in vain upon the soapbox. "One at a time, please. You squeak first. No, not you. Now be quiet, you other rats. I call upon Brother Chigbacon to address the assembly. Now, Brother Chigbacon, squeak up." "Mr. Chair Rat and Brother Ratmen, I rise from a sense of cheese, I should say duty, to squeak. I represent the stable rats, so to squeak. That is left of us, so to squeak, being only me and Brother Scattermeal. Mr. Chair Rat, we being decimated. A horrid, squinting, hideous old cat named Cheesebox." Mary Ellen looked up at the hayrack and grinned from ear to ear. Cheesebox's tails twitched. "A mangy, skinny-tailed, scraggy, dirty old Grimwell King is decimating us. What is to be done, Mr. Chair Rat and Brother Ratmen? We refer ourselves to the guidance of your united wisdom and cunning." The loud, noisy squeaking recommenced. All the rats squeaked different advice, and Old Chair Squeaker thumped upon the soapbox. At length, amongst the jumble of squeaks, a resolution was put before the meeting by Ratston Nailer, a pert young rat from the village shop. He proposed that a bell be stolen and hung by a ribbon around the neck of that wicked green-eyed monster, the ugliest, greediest, slyest cat in the whole village. but with a bell around her neck we would always hear her coming, in spite of her velvet slippers. Every rat voted for this proposal except old Chair Squeaker. He was a rat of many winters, renowned for extracting cheese from every known make of rat trap without setting off the spring. "Why don't you vote? What's your objection, old Chair Squeaker?" inquired Ratson Nailer pertly. "No objection," replied old Chair Squeaker, "none whatever. But tell me, who is going to bell the cat?" No one answered. Cheesebox reached up. Standing on her hind legs in the hayrack, she applied her green eyes to a crack between the board and the loft floor. Instantly there was a rush, a scurry, and the assembling of rats dispersed. Cheesebox jumped down into the stall. Her tail was thick, her fur stood on end. Mary Ellen, very unwisely, was still shaking with laughter. Cheesebox walked up to Mary Ellen. She boxed Mary Ellen's ears with her claws out. Mary Ellen, with a howl, jumped into the hayrack. Cheesebox followed her. They sat in the hay, making horrible cat noises and cuffing each other, to the intense annoyance of the mare in the stall below. As for Paddy Pig, who had really been enjoying a good sleep at last, Paddy Pig screamed with rage and yelled for Sandy. While the uproar was at its height, the stable door opened, and Sandy came in carrying a lantern, and followed by the veterinarian retriever and Pony Billy. The retriever was a large, important dog with a hurrying professional manner, copied from his master. He came rapidly into the stall, wearing a long blue overcoat, and examined the patient through a pair of large horn spectacles. The cats glared down at him from the hayrack. "Put your tongue out and say ah." What? It's bad manners," objected Paddy Pig. "Put your tongue out, or I'll bite you." What? "The patient does not appear to be amenable to treatment, but I can perceive no rash. Nothing which would justify me in diagnosing measles. Dognosing, he pronounced it. I am inclined to diagnose iracundia, arising from tormenta ventris, complicated by feline incapability. But in order to make certain, I will proceed to feel the patient's pulse. Where is the likely spot to find a pulse on a pig, I wonder?" "Try feeling his tail," suggested Pony William. "I have no watch," said the retriever, "but the thermometer will do just as well. Hold it to the lantern, Sandy, while I count." "It does not seem to go up," said Sandy, much mystified. "That settles it," said the retriever. "I felt sure I was not justified in dog-nosing measles. We will now proceed to administer an emetic, I mean to say aperient. Has anybody got a medicine glass?" "There's a drenching horn in the little wall cupboard behind the door," said Margaret, who was watching the proceedings with much interest over the side of her stall. "Capital," said the retriever. "Hold the bottle, please, Sandy, while I dust the horn. It's chock full of cobwebs." Sandy took the bottle. "I partly seem to know the smell," he said. He held it beside the lantern and spelled out the label. "Apple-diddle-dock. What may that be?" The retriever displayed some anxiety to get the bottle away from him. "Be careful, the remedy is extremely powerful." "Excuse me," purred a cat's voice from the hayrack overhead. "Excuse me, Appledock is not for insides. My poor dear Granny Ma, Pussycat Mew, Apple-diddle-dock rubbed on her back, where she got burnt by a hot cinder while she was sitting in the fender. Apple-diddle-dock is poison." "In spite of our differing, I agree with you," said another cat's voice in the hayrack. "Apple-diddle-dock is for outward application only." "Stuff and nonsense," said the veterinarian retriever, drawing the cork out of the bottle with his teeth. "Stuff and nonsense. Here goes." What? If you poison me again, I'll scream," remonstrated the patient. "I seem to remember the smell," said Sandy. "Quite likely," said the retriever. "Since there is going to be all this fuss, I may as well tell you that it's castor oil that I have in the bottle." What? Castor oil? Ugh, choked Paddy Pig, as they poked the drenching horn into the corner of his mouth and dosed him. "A good, safe, old-fashioned remedy, Paddy Pig," said Pony William. "Now go to sleep, and you will wake up quite well in the morning. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's much wrong with you now." "I don't think one dose will cure me, but Pony Billy, come here, I want to whisper." For goodness sake, send away those cats." Pony Billy took the hint and acted with tact. "Mary Ellen, we are extremely obliged to you for your invaluable attention to the invalid. I shall be pleased to trot you home to Stott Farm, provided you can go at once, before the moon sets. Cheesebox, we are equally indebted to you for your self-sacrificing devotion. I may tell you there are 4 rats quarrelling in the granary, and one of them sounds like Ratston Naylor." Cheesebox jumped out of the stable window without another word. Mary Ellen, after making sure that the veterinarian retriever had left, Mary Ellen climbed down into the stall and tucked up the patient for the last time. "Was it a poor little sick piggy then?" What? Here I say, Sandy! Lie still then, I'm only seeking my fur-lined boots. They are somewhere in poor piggy's beddy. Come, Mary Ellen, the moon is setting. Good night, Paddy Pig, and pleasant dreams." "Now we shall have some peace. Those 2 are worse than the rats," said Margaret, lying down heavily in her stall. Paddy Pig was already snoring. The sun rose next day upon a glorious May morning. Paddy Pig, a little thinner than usual, sat by the campfire, displaying a hearty appetite for breakfast. "No more toadstool tartlets for me. Give me another plateful of porridge, Jenny Ferret." Danke. Thank you for coming today. Hopefully we'll get the next chapter out next week. See you then. Auf Wiedersehen.